Mastering Your Mind, the Stoic Approach to Emotional Control and Personal Growth. Part 1. The Power of Emotional Control. Have you ever been in a situation where your emotions got the better of you? Maybe you felt overwhelmed by anger, frustration, or even joy that took control of your actions. In our fast-paced, hyper-connected world, emotions often run wild, steering us off course. But what if I told you that there's a way to regain control, to steer your life by the wheel of wisdom rather than the chaotic winds of fleeting feelings? This is where Stoic philosophy comes into play. The Stoics, thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, have been teaching us for centuries how to live a life of inner peace and resilience, no matter what happens around us. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, famously wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the first key to emotional control. Recognize that you can control how you respond to everything that happens in your life. But in practice, it's not always easy. When someone cuts you off in traffic, or when you get an unexpected bill, or when your colleague takes credit for your work, how do you react? Do you allow yourself to be swept away by anger? Or do you stop and ask yourself, what would a Stoic do? A Stoic would take a moment to pause, breathe, and remember that their peace of mind is far more valuable than the fleeting satisfaction of reacting. Anger doesn't make you stronger, it makes you a puppet to your emotions. And the stronger you are in your mind, the more you will be able to navigate life's challenges with clarity and composure. Think of an athlete like Michael Jordan. In one of the most famous moments of his career, during Game 5 of the 1997 NBA Finals, Jordan was visibly sick, suffering from the flu, yet he still managed to play and lead his team to victory. His emotional control, his ability to rise above the pain and focus on what mattered, is a perfect example of Stoic discipline. He didn't let the circumstances dictate his performance. Instead, he mastered his mind and emerged victorious. Part 2. Embrace the moment, living in the present. We live in a world that often demands we're always ahead of the game, always thinking about what's next. This leads to anxiety about the future and regret about the past. We're constantly caught in a mental whirlwind of worries, distractions, and what-ifs. But Stoicism teaches us that the only moment we truly have is right now. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You are immortal. You are a part of the whole. You have been granted the power of reason to live in harmony with nature. You cannot control the events that happen to you, but you can control how you respond." This focus on the present moment is not only liberating, but it's essential for our mental well-being. Imagine for a moment that you could let go of the constant burden of worrying about what might happen tomorrow. What would that feel like? You see, life is unpredictable. The Stoic mindset doesn't ignore this. It embraces it. Instead of stressing about future uncertainties, a Stoic accepts that they will deal with whatever comes, when it comes. Just like a sailor navigating a storm, the sailor can't change the weather, but they can adjust their sails. To practice this, start small. Next time you feel the weight of the future pressing on you, pause. Ground yourself in the present. Focus on what you can control now. Take a deep breath and allow the future to unfold naturally, without unnecessary stress. Part 3. The Inner Strength of Self-Mastery. When we think of strength, we often picture someone physically powerful, someone who can lift a heavy weight or run a marathon. But true strength is not just in the body, it's in the mind. The Stoics believe that true strength lies in the ability to master oneself, to remain steady in the face of hardship, and to cultivate virtues like wisdom, courage, and justice. Consider the story of Viktor Frankl, the Austrian neurologist and Holocaust survivor, who wrote about his experiences in the concentration camps in his book, Man's Search for Meaning. Despite the unimaginable horrors he faced, Frankl found meaning in his suffering by choosing his attitude toward it. He could control how he responded to his circumstances, even if he couldn't control the events themselves. Frankl's story exemplifies Stoic resilience. It shows us that no matter what life throws our way, we have the power to choose our response. Whether you're facing a challenging work project, a personal loss, or even just a bad day, self-mastery means choosing to act with dignity and purpose, not as a victim of circumstance. As the Stoic Epictetus said, we are disturbed not by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens. Part 4. The freedom of acceptance and letting go. In today's world, we often find ourselves fighting against reality. We resist what's happening, wishing it were different. We wish for a better past, a different present, or a future where things are easier. But the truth is, this constant resistance only causes pain and frustration. To be truly free, we must learn to accept what we cannot change. Acceptance is not weakness, it's wisdom. By accepting things as they are, we can focus our energy on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, and our attitude. One of the best examples of this Stoic idea is in the life of Thomas Edison. Edison faced many failures on his path to inventing the light bulb. He had to accept each failure as part of the process. Rather than being defeated, he learned from each setback and grew closer to his goal. Acceptance of failure allowed him to keep going, to keep improving. And you too can cultivate this freedom. When you stop fighting against reality and start accepting the present moment, you release yourself from unnecessary suffering. This is not about being passive or giving up. It's about understanding that resistance to reality only leads to frustration. Acceptance gives you the power to take action where it matters most. Conclusion: master yourself, master your life. By now, you should understand that Stoicism isn't just an ancient philosophy. It's a way of living that can change the course of your life. It teaches you to control your emotions, embrace the present moment, master yourself, and accept reality as it is. But remember, Stoicism is a practice, not a one-time decision. It's something you work on every day. It's the small choices you make in each moment that add up to a life of wisdom and inner peace. So, I encourage you, starting today, take a moment to reflect on the Stoic principles we've discussed. When life throws challenges your way, remember, you have the power to control your reactions. You have the strength to choose how you respond. And you have the freedom to accept what you cannot change, while making the most of what you can. Master your mind, and you'll master your life. And as the Stoics remind us, the path to true happiness isn't through external success or material gain. It's through inner tranquility and virtue. Thank you for watching, and remember, the power to change your life lies within you.